Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 176, Black-Hearted Husband and Wife. Actually, this method is very simple. One only needs the Crown Prince of Qian country to cooperate. Shen Dongling said. When Wang Bai heard it, he asked, "Do explain these words." Shen Dongling smiled. Now that our Mingqi is about to enter an alliance with Qian country, from husband's words, the Qian country is also willing to form an alliance with us. What if the Qian country requirement for the alliance was to marry fifth younger sister back? This is naturally impossible. Even if His Majesty considered for the people and agree to it, General Shen would not agree to let fifth Shen young lady to marry far away. Wang Bai was very clear about it. After all, there was no one in Ding capital that did not know that Shen Xin doted on Shen young lady a lot. It was already not possible to let her marry out of the state, much less marry into Qian country, such a far-away place where one would only meet once every few years. Shen Dongling smiled. It is because of this rationale that if one spread this information out and let the people of Mingqi know about it, they would definitely beg General Shen to marry fifth younger sister over. After all, Huang Fu Hao is the crown prince of Qian country and looked not bad, thus fifth younger sister would not be at any disadvantage. If eldest Bo does not agree, then Qian country would not be in an alliance with Mingqi, and perhaps Great Liang would take advantage of it, making the Mingqi fall into a dangerous situation. With 1/5 younger sister to exchange for the common people's safety, no matter if it is worthwhile in eldest Bo's eyes, it would be worthwhile in the eyes of the commoners. Wang Bai fell into deep thoughts. Shen Dongling said again, "Everyone knows that my eldest Bo is a person would place righteousness and justice of the world before himself. However, now to be threatened by the commoners, he could fight against officials but could not ignore the wishes of the commoners. Even if His Majesty would also can't do anything more, as one need to consider the commoners' mind. What more, my eldest Bo would not wish to see Great Liang seizing the opportunity, but at the other end would definitely not be willing to let fifth younger sister marry afar. But who can stop Huang Fu Hao? Even there is, they would not dare. At this time, as long as His Highness the Crown Prince step out to say that fifth younger sister is already the person that the residence of the Crown Prince had fixed on, everything will be resolved." This. Wang Bai listened in somewhat of a hesitation before hearing Shen Dongling continued smile. Huang Fu Hao could not just ignore the Crown Prince. Moreover, Huang Fu Hao would have already inquired the happenings some days back. Comparing to marrying to Huang Fu Hao and living in Qian country, eldest Bo was more willing to marry Shen Miao to the residence of the Crown Prince, as one could still take care of her. As long as the Crown Prince step out in this critical time, eldest Bo would be grateful to the Crown Prince. Wang Bai tightened his hands around Shen Dongling and gave Shen Dongling a kiss. "I did not expect to have married to a brain trust." Shen Dongling suddenly lowered her head. Husband really know how to tease this Qi. This Qi only suddenly thought about it. There must be a lot of areas that are out of place, but husband would certainly think of ways to rectify it. It is already not easy for you to think it to this level. Wang Bai felt more joy as he looked longer at Shen Dongling. "This time you really helped me a great deal. Rest assures that when everything is successful, I will definitely credit you to the Crown Prince so that our family's Ling would be prestigious." Shen Dongling's heart had some disdain. When men done a meritorious deed, they most feared to credit others, not to mention she was a female. It would be a wonder if Wang Bai would even speak about her contribution. It was all only some flowery words at the moment. However, even though one knew it clearly in the heart, Shen Dongling still pushed Wang Bai and said hurriedly, "Husband must not mention that it is this Qi's idea. How can one scheme one's younger sister today if it is not because of solving husband's worries? This Qi would not say it. If these words were spread out, how would this Qi go on living?" Wang Bai only said it casually, but if Shen Dongling follow the thread of line, he would find her as greedy. But now, with Shen Dongling being flustered, it made him satisfied. The more he looked at Shen Dongling, the more he felt that she was adorable, and the more he was happy that Shen Dongling and Shen Yu exchanged their marriages. He said, "All right, I will not speak of it. But these are not anything bad to marrying the Crown Prince. When the Crown Prince ascend to the throne, Fifth Shan young lady would be a imperial consort and would thank you in the future. This is an auspicious matter that one could not even request for. Shen Dongling smiled. This Qi also feels the same. Her heart was however clear that Shen Miao was not one who was greedy for power, and the Shen family had already viewed Shen Miao as a pearl in their hands, thus although wealth was not as important as her. In some aspects, Shen Miao was the same with Shen Xin. Both of them had the same type of stubbornness in their bones. To others it was a good thing to be married to the crown prince, that even if one was unwilling in the past, would be satisfied with the sweetness after a period of time. But Shen Miao was different. Once one step was taken incorrectly, she could ensure her death. Even if nothing could be seen on the surface, her heart would not feel good about it. Sorry, Shen Dongling apologized in her heart. In the entire Shen residence, she was the most unwilling to be enemies with Shen Miao because Shen Miao was dangerous and she had the unconditional support from Shen Xin and wife. But the present was different with the past. Now Shen Dongling had the right to compete with Shen Miao, and Shen Dongling also remembered that she was actually envious of Shen Miao. Shen Dongling could step everyone in the Shen residence underneath her feet, including second and third household, Shen Yu and Shen King, but she just could not be comparable to Shen Miao. The family that Shen Miao relied on was exactly the thing that Shen Dongling could never get. Once someone of a lower status gained power and abandoned their former carefulness and humbleness, it would make one even more warped. This was why when those poor scholars attained the first position in the imperial examinations and gain a low-rank position, their character would become extremely arrogant. The position in society was ingrained in one's bones, and one feared that others would be able to see one's unbearable past. When Shen Dongling's mind was wandering, she heard Wang Bai speaking. At this moment one need to plan it well. I have to discuss it with the crown prince. Shen Dongling received her senses and smiled. One have to invite fifth younger sister out. She thought about it. This Qi will send an invite to fifth younger sister. Oh? Wang Bai asked. She will come? It seemed that he knew that Shen Dongling's and Shen Miao's relations were not warm, but in Shen Dongling's ears, it was mocking the di and shu difference between her and Shen Miao. Shen Dongling pressed down the unhappiness in her heart. Husband don't believe in this Qi? Rest assured, this Qi will definitely call fifth younger sister out. In the residence of the Count of Pingnan, Su Mingfeng was currently having a headache at the moment. Yesterday Princess Rongzin suddenly came to the residence of the Count of Pingnan. Princess Rongzin had not gone out for a long time and had lived simply, so no one noticed her. She even disguised herself that Su Mingfeng almost didn't recognize her. For Princess Rongxing to come to the residence of the Count of Pingnan this condescendingly, it must be extremely important. Princess Rongxing let the servants report it directly to Su Mingfeng, which indicated clearly that the matter had no relations to Su Yu, and she came especially for him. Even though Su Mingfeng was puzzled, he did not dare to neglect her at all and welcomed Princess Rongzin in, thinking of what matter Princess Rongzin would be instructing him to do. Who knew that Princess Rongzin was not here to instruct people but to inquire information? The information that she was inquiring also gave Su Mingfeng a big shock. Princess Rongzin was inquiring about information on Xi Jingxing. Xi Jingxing died 2 years ago in the battlefield with the Northern Zhong, and because the Ding capital people knew that Xi Jingxing had close relations with Princess Rongxing, she fell into a serious illness after Xi Jingxing's death. Ever since then, no one dared to take the initiative to mention Xi Jingxing in front of Princess Rongzin, lest that Princess Rongzin would recall about the sad things. Who knew that Princess Rongzin would take the initiative to ask Su Mingfeng about it? Princess Rongzin asked Su Mingfeng about some old stories of Xi Jingxing and even asked if Xi Jingxing had any secrets. At the end, she also asked about Xi Jingxing's corpse. Xi Jingxing was killed in the Northern Zhong by thousands of enemies' arrows and was skinned and hung up on the city walls by the enemies. When Xi Ding saw Xi Jingxing's corpse, he fainted on the spot. Princess Rongzin feared that she could not withstand it, so she did not dare to take a look at all. It was Su Mingfeng, his childhood playmate, who went to send Xi Jingxing off one last time. At this moment, Princess Rongxing came to ask Su Mingfeng if that body was truly Zi Jingxing. If it was normal, Su Mingfeng would feel a little confused, but ever since the last time he coincidentally met up with Shen Miao and discovered the tiger head bracelet on Shen Miao's wrist, Su Mingfeng had a nagging doubt in his heart and had been monitoring Shen Miao's movement in the Shen residence. With Princess Rongxin's sudden inquiry of Zi Jingxing's matter, Su Mingfeng could almost immediately confirm his thoughts that Zi Jingxing was not dead, and one feared that he was still alive in this world. Even though he did not understand why was Zi Jingxing not appearing since he was still alive, Su Mingfeng was no fool. After dealing with Princess Rongxin with a couple of words, Princess Rongxing left, but Su Mingfeng fell deeply in his thoughts. Since Princess Rongxin had some doubts, she must have discovered some clue, which meant that Zi Jingxing must have revealed something. Thinking of Shen Miao's bracelet and Princess Rongxin's behavior, Su Mingfeng made a bold guess. Not only was Zi Jingxing not dead, he was also in Ding capital. However, what made Su Mingfeng puzzled was that there had not been any secret between Zi Jingxing and Princess Rongxin, and their relations were also at its best, so what would make Zi Jingxing be reluctant to say to Princess Rongxin? Moreover, why was Princess Rongxin asking about Zi Jingxing's childhood? What was the connection? Regardless of the reason, Su Mingfeng felt that Zi Jingxing must have his own reasons. The most imperative thing was to search for Zi Jingxing's whereabouts, and after he was found, all questions would naturally have an answer. But where to find Zi Jingxing? The Ding capital was not said to be big, but it was definitely not small. To find one person who purposely hid himself in the sea of people, especially when this person was quite capable, that was definitely not an easy thing. Su Mingfeng intended to send someone to monitor Princess Rongxin. Since Princess Rongxin had discovered some small traces of clues, the things she have on hand was definitely more than him. As long as he followed behind, he would be able conveniently pick up the advantages. Su Mingfeng waved his hands to call the servants before whispering some words in his ears. When Shen Miao received Shen Dongling's invitation, Zi Jingxing was drinking tea in her room. Ever since that night, Zi Jingxing was more than justified to manage her affairs. Shen Miao initially was not accustomed to it, but afterwards she got used to it, since Zi Jingxing had extensive hands and eyes. Even if one did not tell him, he would be able to find it out himself, and at the end, it would still be the same results. Zi Jingxing took a glance at the invitation in her hands. Shen Dongling, most likely she had devised a plan. Shen Miao said, "Invite me to have an incense appreciation." She was startled for a bit before she smiled. Even incense appreciation is used. It seemed that foundation of the residence of the Minister of Land is good. Appreciating tea and alcohol was quite normal, but appreciating incense was different. There were some that cost thousands of gold and it would be gone after burning it. Shen Miao knew that the most expensive incense scent was the jade pear agarwood incense, which cost 10,000 of gold for a fingernail worth. Previously there was a Western merchant who paid his tribute to the palace and wanted the name of an imperial merchant. That jade pear agarwood incense that was provided was only as big as a child's fist and was very rare. At that time all the concubines in the palace came to take a look, and even Shen Miao also felt it was very novel. Shen Miao had always thought that the jade pear agarwood incense would be placed in the national treasury, as it was something that was very precious. Afterwards, during my Furen's birthday celebration, Fu Ziyu lit the jade pear agarwood incense in exchange for a smile from the beauty. Appreciation of incense was actually appreciating gold, as one of it would reduce a lot of money. The invitation that Shen Dongling wrote was appreciation of Uniq speak incense, and it was very valuable. With the income of a Minister of Land's position, it was definitive that it could not withstand such squandering. It was evident that the family that Shen Dongling married into had a rich and affluent foundation. After all, among the officials in Ding capital, many of the first-ranked officials would not be so extravagant. One did not know when Shen Yu, down in the underworld, knew of it. Would she be so angry that she became alive? Uniq speak incense is not cheap. To spend this much money, it would definitely not for the sake of reminiscing between sisters. Scheme against you? Zi Jingxing asked with his brows raised. Shen Dongling is not Shen Yu. Even if she really scheme against me, I would not fall for it easily. Shen Dongling is not stupid, so I guess that she will scheme against me. If I gone, it would only make things goes her way even smoother, and if I did not go, there would not be too much losses. Shen Miao smiled. I just feel that since it is surprising that the family of the Minister of Land have this much money. She looked at Zi Jingxing. At the execution grounds when Shen Miao saw Shen Dongling, she had noticed that the clothes and jewelry that Shen Dongling was wearing was extremely expensive. No matter how much Wang Bai pampered her, it was irrational to surpass the wealth of the Wang family. So how did the Wang family have so much wealth? When Zi Jingxing saw Shen Miao's gaze, he tactfully continued, the Wang family are the Crown Prince's people and have some relations with the salt merchants that the Crown Prince secretly selling to. Wang Bai is the middleman. Shen Miao suddenly came into realization. That was of no wonder. Selling salt privately was a very profitable business, that even a fragmentary portion of it would make others jealous. No wonder the Wang family could afford to appreciate incense, and Shen Miao somewhat understood where Shen Dongling was coming from. If Shen Dongling married to an ordinary official, she would definitely operate carefully. But the Wang family was very wealthy, and Wang Bai was working under the Crown Prince, so naturally her position worth more. She was Wang Bai's official wife and infinite glory. Most likely she was blinded by the momentarily glory that her guts had become bigger. Life sprang from sorrow and calamity, but death comes from ease and pleasure. Shen Dongling was unable to maintain a clear mind, thus she was unable to see the facts clearly. There are so many variables in the world, so who could ensure that the Crown Prince would be able to succeed the throne? Taking 1,000 steps back, even if the Crown Prince succeeded the throne, who was able to guarantee that Wang Bai had been free from worries under the Crown Prince, would be able to be promoted steadfastly? There were too many instances of boiling the hound once the rabbit was caught. There was nothing more ruthless than the imperial family. Wang Bai is the Crown Prince's people. Shen Miao was deep in thought. Shen Dongling's sudden actions are definitely related to Wang Bai, and that means it is related to the Crown Prince. Shen Miao looked at Zi Jingxing. The relations between me and the Crown Prince. She want to make a fuss out of my marriage? Zi Jingxing looked at her praising. Smart. You had already knew about it? Shen Miao was somewhat doubtful. It is Shen Dongling's idea. Zi Jingxing picked up a snack and took a bite, letting Huang Fuhao and the Crown Prince act out a play after an agreement. With you marrying Huang Fuhao as a condition of the alliance with Mingqi, otherwise there would not be an alliance and perhaps even would attack Mingqi. When the news is released, the commoners would beg Shenzhen to marry you to Huang Fuhao. One hand is the commoners, the other issue. Shenzhen would definitely be extreme pain, but no one under heavens would dare to go against Huang Fuhao, and at this time only the Crown Prince step out and say that there was already a marriage agreement between you and the Crown Prince. Comparing to you marrying far away, Shenzhen would easily accept you being married to the Crown Prince and remain in Mingqi, and would even be grateful to the Crown Prince. Zi Jingxing shrugged his shoulders. This Shu sister of yours is not a simple character. When Shen Miao heard it, her face turned ashen and she sneered. She really exhausts her thoughts and ingenuity for me. She even went as far as to use the commoners under heavens to force Shenzhen, one who had inherited the body and mind of old General Shen's teaching of fighting for Mingqi's commoners. When Shenzhen was forced by the commoners that he loved, and the other side is Shen Miao, his daughter, one can only imagine how painful Shenzhen's heart would be. In the Shen residence, Shen Miao and Shen Dongling had always been minding their own business, thus Shen Miao felt an irresistible hate towards Shen Dongling's action. She said, "Cannot proceed with the marriage with the Crown Prince." Zi Jingxing stared at her with a smile, but not a smile. "Why, do you want to marry me?" Not waiting for Shen Miao to be furious, he continued speaking. "Don't worry, there is still no one under heavens who dared to snatch things from my hand." One feared that he would not be able to want the female I fancied. His words were always had no misgiving and fear, making Shen Miao's face blushed unfathomably. She changed the topic. Shen Dongling dared to scheme against me. Naturally I want to repay her back a few points. Furin's desire is my own desire," Zi Jingxing said lazily. Shen Miao was speechless for a moment before saying, "What intentions do you currently have?" "Exterminate Mingqi and Great Liang would unify." Zi Jingxing's gaze was somewhat strange. "If I say yes, you will help me?" "I said before that on this point, I am the same as you," Shen Miao answered. The joking expression on Zi Jingxing's face started to gradually disappear. He did not know what Shen Miao was thinking about, and it seemed that he could not see anything at all. In the matter of the hostility between two countries, Zi Jingxing had never thought that Shen Miao would support him. With Shen Miao's current degrading attitude, Zi Jingxing was already very surprised. With Shen Miao's expression, it reminded him that she was serious about it. She wanted to eliminate Mingqi? Why? Shen Miao was definitely not a person who was greedy for fame and fortune, so it was not to parrot his words. And for her to throw Mingqi to the back of her mind just for her love of Zi Jingxing. Zi Jingxing did not think it was possible. It was as if from the beginning of knowing Shen Miao, she was already extremely hostile to the Fu family. That was because the Fu family wanted to suppress the Shen family, but Shen Miao was an unmarried female, so how would she know of such matters? Something he found that Shen Miao could see clearer than Shen Xin and Shen Kaiyu. She always stood in front of the Shen family in a protecting manner, as if she had long expected what would happen. The more he got closer with Shen Miao, the more he discovered the many mysterious parts of Shen Miao. However, even Feng's Yan pawnshop was unable to find out the reasons behind the behaviors. This made one really suspicious. He hesitated for a moment before asking, "You don't like Mingqi?" Shen Miao's eyes hung down. "The power under heavens that are long divided will be united, and those long united will be divided. Such is the way of the universe. It is not changing whether I like it or not. Even if I am not willing and dislike it, these things will still happen. This is destined." She lifted her head and looked at the candlelight that was slightly wavering. "Moreover, comparing to the Fu family, I rather the country lands in your hands." Zi Jingxing was startled. The war between two countries has nothing to do with the commoners. Mingqi has been on the decline in these years and has heavy taxes with constant natural disasters, and that make the commoners' life difficult. Officialdom circles are dark with the officials decaying in quality. The emperor is fatuous and would scheme and guard against meritorious families that one could not wait to kill them, as their appearance is just too ugly to look at. Comparing as such, Great Liang's commoners are living and working peacefully in contentment with all industries flourishing. Shen Miao said, "I know that Emperor Longle is a wise monarch. When attacking other small countries, the commoners of those small countries would open their city gates to meet with the army. Isn't that the truth?" Zi Jingxing took a long look at Shen Miao, and there was an indescribable feeling in his heart. The world said that female were the most short-sighted and would only be able to see what was in front and unable to see the overall picture. It was only because they had never met one. Zi Jingxing had seen a magnanimous and most knowledgeable female, which was his Imperial Sao, Emperor Yongle's wife, Empress Xianda. But Empress Xianda was the descendant of the historian aristocratic family and had an encyclopedic knowledge and was the mistress of the 6 palaces. Shen Miao was only 16 years old, and the furthest she went was Zichun City, and was even known as an idiot by others. But Shen Miao's words on the current situation were not comparable to majority of Emperor Yongle's aides. Instead of treating oneself as a person of a country but as the highest point in history, and calmly look at it as conforming to a regular pattern, just like conforming to the changing 4 seasons. There are not many people in the world that was able to look at things so transparently, but this person sat right in front of him. Zi Jingxing suddenly felt glad, as he was the one who discovered this female, and Shen Miao was willing to tell him these words. However, Shen Miao did not know what Zi Jingxing was thinking. She previously heard Fu Ziyu evaluating Emperor Yongle, indicating that Emperor Yongle was a distinguished and accomplished character and a wise emperor of a generation. The land that Great Liang initially had was not as vast as it was currently, especially when the late emperor of Great Liang passed on. The internal affairs were turbulent and many other countries seized the opportunities. Afterwards the current Emperor Yongle succeeded the throne and slowly started to reclaim the lands, and not only that, he started to swallow up the neighboring small countries. Emperor Yongle was very charming and conformed to the people's heart. Some of the commoners of the small countries even hoped that Emperor Yongle would swallow them up so that their difficult lives could improve. And Emperor Yongle did that. At that time Shen Miao was very surprised by it, and Fu Ziyi was also very jealous with Emperor Yongle. Afterwards, when Fu Ming was studying, he also read that and discussed with Shen Miao with great enthusiasm. Thus Shen Miao had a deeply carved memory of it. Zi Jingxing paused for a moment and said, unpleased, "Why do you remember his matters so clearly, Shen Miao?" She said, "Of course I am not that great, and it was all for self-protection. If the Fu family were in charge, the Shen family would be eliminated. When the monarch is not benevolent, then naturally officials need not have abide by righteousness and justice. Is it not? Then how would you know if Emperor Yongle would not be like the second emperor Wen Hu and take action on the Shen family?" Zi Jingxing questioned. "One heard that there is a general by the emperor's side by the surname Li that has very similar experience with the Shen family, but the Li family was treated with deferential treatment. The Shen family military is not as good as General Li, so one does not need to worry about it." Shen Miao was thinking in her heart that at least till before she died, the entire family of General Li lived very well. Zi Jingxing was stunned. "How do you know that there is a General Li?" Shen Miao heard moved. She had forgotten that she is the daughter of the Shen family, and naturally it was not possible to know about General Li of Great Liang. However, she had to say some words to cover it up. "This General Li is very famous. It is not strange for Ming Qi to know of him." "Very famous?" Zi Jingxing frowned. "More famous than me?" Shen Miao was determined not to speak to him about these. "Let's not talk about these. Since at the end one would be dealing with Ming Qi, naturally one cannot let the Qian country and Ming Qi to form an alliance. If so, it would be troublesome for Great Liang to deal with it. You remained in the Ding capital and not leave, isn't it to break up their alliance?" Zi Jingxing smiled gently. "When one get married, one will follow the husband." "You really think thoroughly for me?" Shen Miao ignored the part where it should not be heard. "There is a good way to break up their alliance, but it depends if you can do it successfully." Zi Jingxing's lips hooked up to a smile. "Let's listen to it." "Assassinating, moving, planting, slandering." She smiled gently yet dignified. "Best if the dead can't testify."